Mama Sports Talk Worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Now, we had a big fight for most of you guys out there. Canelo Alvarez versus Caleb Plant for undisputed, and I'm putting those up for a reason, undisputed championship in the super middleweight division. You know, it played out like most of us thought it would play out in every aspect of it. It played out exactly like a normal Canelo Alvarez fight would play out. Caleb Plant looked great, in my opinion, but he was stopped in round 11 by Canelo Alvarez. And I'm gonna say it up front, you know, quick stoppage. As soon as the guy went down, it was stopped. And I'm going to bring up some fights where that wasn't like that, right? Now, Canelo Alvarez, before we go too far, I'm not going to act like I like Canelo Alvarez. Most people, I used to like Canelo Alvarez. I think he's one of the problems in boxing, right? I don't mind that Canelo Alvarez has fans, but we have a problem with people just ignoring some of the obvious things. But if you look at the world, and especially America right now, most people that are not doing the right things are the people that we love, right? And that's what, you know, this fight is just that. That's why here on this channel, you didn't hear me talking about the fight to the lead up, because I wasn't watching it live anyway. You understand? Because it was Canelo versus Caleb Plant, and I didn't like how that happened. I'm just, you know, making sure that everyone understands Canelo should have fought Demetrius Andrade for the same amount of money or more, and he would have already been undisputed in the middleweight division. And then the whole media never talks about that, never talks about Demetrius Andrade and Canelo. And you know, it's just unfair. So I don't really like that. So I can't support, you know, him going up in this division, and then he doesn't have to fight Benavidez to get the WBC belt, right? They just give it to him and let him fight a guy named Yildirim, you know, for it. And Yildirim was, you know, we had Benavidez. So we strip Benavidez, and then we give Canelo, just give him the belt. Those things, you know, a lot of people are going to move on for him, because most people are like, hey, don't say nothing about that. This is sport, you know. And so at the end of the day, I know a lot of people like the fact of boxing, that it's traditional to argue about this and argue about that. But at the end of the day, I'm in for fairness and justice. So therefore, you know, I have a little thing while I'm watching Canelo, and it's like, you know, I can't ignore how awesome the guy is. And let me say something else about Canelo. You know, anybody who remember when Canelo fought Gennady Golovkin the first time, maybe you want to check my post-fight there, right? To tell you, even though Canelo lost that first fight, he got a draw, but he lost against Gennady Golovkin the first time. But his defense was impeccable, because he wasn't the one doing the hunting down. He was able to fight, and I'm just going to say back foot, not really the back foot, just his upper body movement, his elusiveness, and just the things he knows, his technical ability was on display against Gennady Golovkin, right? But, you know, Canelo is an awesome front foot fighter. We see that against the fight against Caleb Plant, right? He was definitely on the front foot. He was coming forward, but he was being outlanded by Caleb Plant. Ridiculously, in my opinion, just totally outlanded. You know, I'm talking about when you get hit, you know, so you get hit in your face going like that, you know, like Floyd Mayweather did him. That happened so many times against Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant was shoulder rolling him, right, and letting him throw that left hook, miss with his earmuff up, right, letting him miss that and come with the straight right, doing that several times. Having his defense to where Canelo was throwing at the body, because Canelo, you got to remember, the crowd, Canelo can just throw punches. So he's throwing at the body, Canelo's throwing at the body, which you're supposed to do, even if you're not landing, because you're hitting on elbows, you're hitting on triceps, you're hitting on biceps, you know, you're hitting on shoulders. Those hurt. You know, for people may, you know, move them hands somewhere different. Every good boxer will tell you that. But at the end of the day, Canelo was being outpointed. Now, at the end of round 9, for example, they showed Steve Farhood's scorecard. And Caleb Plant had only won 2 rounds by round 9 on his scorecard. Now, I don't know the scorecards for everyone else, the judges, Weisfeld and those people that was judging. I haven't checked that out yet, right? But at the end of the day, after round 9, for example, somebody has Canelo up 7 rounds to 2. And that's outlandishly ridiculous. And I'm being as nice as I possibly can. Canelo hadn't won a round. He was 1 or 2 on my card. And I'm like giving draws and stuff like that. But won a round where he outlanded the other guy. I didn't see that. Right? Because, and we just had a fight for the WBC. A WBC judge who just judged the fight. I forgot who it was. It was only a month ago. And he judged it so ridiculous that he said he's going to go back and get his judging on point because he shouldn't have done that. He let the crowd influence him. Now, an old guy, not a judge who just started, a judge who had experience, still letting the crowd influence him. And like I tell you guys all the time, judges need to have the crowd blocked out. And I mean literally, with earmuffs on. They should not be able to hear the crowd. They should only be able to see. That's something that should have been a long time ago, because you do. Like, you're looking away, you're looking down for a short period of time. Or like this judge had just said, he said somebody was in his way. How the hell are you going to judge a fight with somebody in your way? You're supposed to be, hey, move the hell out the way. But and he still was able to judge. Right? And in this fight, anybody, Steve Farhood, I don't know how the dude or whatever, but looking at this fight and Canelo coming forward doesn't mean he's winning. And I know people are gonna hate stuff like this, but I'm going to go back to Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury 1. Right? Deontay Wilder is Canelo. Cataplant is Fury, the one that's moving and outlanding the other guy. Right? That's right. But and matter of fact, Deontay Wilder, from 1 round, we always say Fury won 10 rounds. And Wilder won 2, the ones he knocked him down in, right? Wilder's coming forward. Wilder's throwing jabs to the body. Wilder's throwing jabs. The other guy's moving out of the way and outlanding him, right? We gave those rounds to Canelo. Why we didn't give them to Deontay Wilder, if that's what you like? And then Deontay Wilder knocks him down in 2 separate rounds. And we could keep saying that Deontay Wilder lost all the rounds. Now, it behooves anyone to go Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury 1 and forget the rounds that Deontay Wilder knocked him down in. Forget those. Watch 1 through 6 and tell me that Fury won all of those 6 rounds. Just do that. I'm talking about people who hate Deontay Wilder. Do it for yourself. You ain't gonna come on the internet and say, oh, I watched that because a gap-toothed guy I was watching told me to do it. A black guy at that. No, that's not what I'm talking about. Just for yourself. 1 through 6, and tell me that Fury won all those damn rounds. Fury won maybe 2 of those, right? But we just say stuff so much that we just start believing it. Damn it, Canelo lost too many of these rounds. He shouldn't have been ahead on the damn scorecard when he knocked out Cataplant. And here's another damn thing. Cataplant, when he went down the second time, well, the first time actually, but he was hurt, no doubt about it. It's a left hook, which Canelo was throwing the whole fight. Mean left hooks. Okay? He landed a couple. Might landed about 2 or 3. I'm talking about to the head. He landed a few to the body. Now, let's not get that twisted. And he throws them with some serious intentions. Okay? No doubt about it. So he lands he's got Cataplant hurt in round 11. But Cataplant went down the second time, and on his way down, what we see? Didn't we see this? Right? Did we ever see that with Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder? The second time that he was knocked down in the second time? Did we see this? Shouldn't we have saw that? Yes. If not, then damn it, Calaplant's supposed to get a chance to get up. Because we're giving people 17 seconds. We gave Tyson Fury 17 seconds in the third fight. We gave him 12 seconds in the first fight. So shit, Calaplant, give him 12 to 17 seconds to see what's happening. Right? But it wouldn't have mattered anyway. I'm pretty sure without knowing about the scorecards, they had Canelo up. And my point is, some people don't have to do much, right, to get victories. Guillermo Rigondeaux beat the hell out of Casemiro, right? He was moving. Casemiro couldn't hit him at 40 years old, and he hit him with the best blows. But that's not what we see. People outraged because Casemiro couldn't catch up to the 40-year-old. So I'm sick of it. That's why I wasn't talking about this fight. You know what I mean? Listen, Canelo didn't fight Andre and become undisputed at middleweight. So from there, it's over for me and Canelo, right? And he didn't have to, and the whole media is ignoring it. And the media right now, right? As much as, Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua was talking about undisputed, what were we hearing about Tyson Fury when he was even fat? That's the lineal champ. You got to deal with the lineal champ, right? Canelo, does he got to deal with the lineal champ? No, he's not got to fight Benavidez, who's lineal. We ain't gonna have to fight him, because Canelo can decide. So whatever with it, with this, it's just a bunch of BS in my. People are brainwashed and the others are racist. It's simple as that. Plant, at the end of the day, he can keep his head up. He looked sensational. I thought Plant looked really sensational. He's winning the fight in my opinion. He did what he had to do. I mean, if we can just get some fairness, we just can't. Everybody just won't. I don't know what it is, other than racism. But other than that, it's just we don't want people to be fair anymore. Every time you say something that's just fair, people are against you. So, for me, it's Sodom and Gomorrah. I mean, people don't realize, that's when it's probably the end of times. When you just, anything that's good, people can't stand. Period. Can't stand it. Right? Despise anything good. How the hell could we have 9 rounds and Canelo wins 7-2? The same guy who got a draw against Floyd Mayweather by one of the judges. The same guy who beat Lara or beat Trout. Right? Trout outboxed the guy. Trout was down 1 time. Canelo gets the fight. You see what I'm saying? Knocking him down 1 time and losing. Then Deontay Wilder knocking somebody 2 times down and losing should get the fight, shouldn't he? It's just consistency. I can do this all day, guys, and this is just off the dome. I don't, I ain't got time to be, reading and taking notes and whatever. I'll write a few notes here and there, but they're just mostly from the dome, most of the time. Straight the fuck up, right? But anyway, Canelo Alvarez is undisputed, and I'm gonna put these up every time I say that, at 168 pounds. Now, he's a great fighter. I would not put these up when I say Canelo is a great fighter, because I'll put these up. Canelo is a damn great fighter. He's one of the best. He is definitely not the best, because if he was the best, he would have already beat all these guys that I can still talk about he's not fighting, right? Because the ones, I'm not talking about up-and-coming prospects. I'm talking about guys that have been calling him out for years, and he could have been undisputed already. Those kind of guys. Demetrius Andrade, Charlo, and the likes, right? But other than that, this is a very, very bad dude. And he has a super duper chin, right? And he has a super duper a whole lot of stuff. You're dealing with Canelo Alvarez here. I just explained to you. He can fight both ways. Back foot, exceptional. Front foot, exceptional. With a chin. It's going to be hard to do to beat him, right? But if someone could stand up 12 rounds and beat him like Lara, right? Lara knows he beats him. Right? A lot of people. But if it's a close fight at all, you lose it. And if you dominate him, like Floyd Mayweather did, they're going to still... Floyd Mayweather should not be talking about having a split decision win over no damn Canelo Alvarez. Anybody that don't know that, go watch little bitty Floyd Mayweather, with 37 years old, beat the hell out of Canelo Alvarez. Right? And then they start talking about Canelo young, or 23 years old. Devin Haney, 23, 22. No? I'm just saying. But anyway, Canelo wins the fight from coming back from behind, in my opinion, to come back and stop Plant at the end. You got to be able to do that first. So I would say congratulations for knocking Plant out. I'm not going to say congratulations to the scorecards. Not Steve Farhoods or whatever his name is. You don't suppose to have Canelo up 7 rounds or 2 after round 9. That's just impossible. And I think as a boxing community, we got to stop it. Or at least keep calling it out. Doma Sports Talk Worldwide. Have a good Sunday. And I'm up out of here, y'all.